Hello, everyone, fabulous members of the Soul Inspired Leaders Collective. I am super excited to jump in here today and give a monthly, week by week breakdown, intuitive reading for the group to support you in really aligning with your highest path and purpose so that you can really navigate this month with the most ease and grace and really align to your higher path. And it really often shows us different things that we might need to be aware of, really roadblocks, potential pitfalls, as well as things you can do to energetically work with this energy to create the life that you desire. So let me know as you're joining in, say hello, whether you're live or on the replay. I also just want to give a big welcome to many of the new people here that I may not have met yet as well. This is something I try to do each month. Hey, Janet, so great to see you. Super happy to have you here. Congratulations on all your new happenings. It's super exciting. So I also want to give just a quick announcement since there is a lot of new people coming, just kind of something to be aware of. I'm kind of excited about the very first Tuesday through Thursday of each month. I have a flash sale for a monthly themed workshop where I tune into the collective energy of all of you in my community and see what I could do to best serve. And I offer a really special, it's about $197 value workshop that every month from the first Tuesday to the first Thursday, it's offered at just $37 for 3 days. And then you can get it at any time for $57. Both of which is a very great value, but I just wanted to let you guys know to keep your eyes peeled because this one's going to be really powerful. It is all about, this month's topic is going to be light language transmissions to align your body, mind, and soul and really activate your conscious creator within. And so there's going to be some different alignment activations to do, light language transmissions, and I'm going to be sharing my 5 steps to conscious creation and giving you some journaling and some activation clearing to help you really align with your highest and best for this way. Because I was feeling there's a lot of integration, a real call to really integrate a lot of the growth that's been happening and to find that hone in, that balance. So just wanted to mention that to you guys. Keep your eyes peeled. That's next week. And that's all I'm going to share about that. But many of you guys may not be aware that that happens. And then I get questions after the fact. So just kind of educating to be keeping your eyes open each month for the monthly special during those first 3 days to get the best deal. Okay, enough of that. I think everyone's joined here. I like to give it a second. We've got people here. So say hello. Hi, Johanna. Sophia, Marisa, awesome. Thomasine, great. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. And this is going to be a group reading. So I'm not doing individual readings. I try to do a monthly kind of energy update, again, where I break down a deep dive, week by week look at what's ahead, how we can align, what we might want to pay attention for, and what hiccups might be coming up that we need to be aware of. Okay, so we'll just see what shows up. I've got the Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel deck, Messenger Angel, always powerful to work with. So let's see, and I'm going to kind of just, because we're on a Saturday, I'm going to go ahead and just use this, since we're filming this on the 4th, I'm going to use this for the 4th, the week of the 4th through the 11th. So just one extra day in this week, okay? Or a couple, the weekend's included in the first week. How about that? Okay, so the first 3 cards that come up, the message that wants to be shared for this weekend all the way through next week was around, the first one is perfectionism. And it says, polishing your creative projects is fine, but don't allow perfectionism and fear to result in procrastination. I love this. This actually came up in my Soul Success Unleashed members group. We were wrapping up and we're doing a bonus call, and this definitely came up. So I love how all the different communities still kind of vibe into the themes, right? Perfectionism can result in us not sharing our gifts with the world. And it's important that we just have the courage to, cultivate ourselves as we go, have the courage to just share our gifts and be willing to not take sensitively what other people may think, right? We're not here to please everyone, and we won't please everyone, and that's okay. But it's like done is better than perfect, right? And you're always going to be able to get better and improve, but not if you don't share your gifts. So what I'm hearing is that a lot of you are being called to share your gifts in the world, right? Whether it's for your first time starting something new, or maybe you're just being called to get out there in a bigger way, right? Or expand something or some version, or maybe it's about adding a book, right? Maybe you already are doing a healing business, but wherever that lies for you, whatever projects and desires you have inside of you are ready to be birthed, and you're being encouraged to do that. And Archangel Gabriel is a wonderful angel to call on to support you, being the messenger angel, right? So wherever you're at with this, just know that the core message really is, don't allow perfectionism to stop you. The fear of not being perfect, not being good enough, or what will people think, any of those things that happen, just really be aware of them, right? But that's really where we get to cultivate our inner work and clear out these fears and doubts so that we can share our beautiful gifts, because I know you all have them, right? Sensitivity, your sensitive feelings are your muse and inspiration for your creativity. And so this is where it is important to kind of address and be aware of what things might be coming up for you. And of course, you want to kind of feel into your body and allow yourself to be aware of it and do that inner work. And when we do clear those fears and get out of the way, then we can really tap into that creative power that we all have within us and allow these inspired ideas and thoughts that are coming down from God, from your angels, from your higher self, that inspiration that's coming through you wants to be birthed, right? It wants to be expressed. And so just allowing yourself to, honor the feelings that you have if there's fear, kind of navigate that fear, feel it, do it anyways, oftentimes, right? And then just allow your creativity to be your muse. And another thing you can do, I'm feeling like, even if you just, maybe you're feeling creative but stuck, well, then it's like you do art, right? Do something with your hands, journaling, anything to kind of get the energy moving and allow yourself to tap back into that inspiration of your intuitive information that you truly are. Does that make sense? Let me know if that resonates for you. Hey, Carol, Michelle, Kim, awesome. The next card for this week to pay attention to is ask for what you want. So this is sort of like calling you, maybe even to create some space for your morning routine, right? And I love this too, because this week, I believe, depending on where you are in the world, the 6th, Monday the 6th in the evening time, Pacific time at least, is the new moon, right? And so this weekend, we're already starting to feel that build. And we are more connected intuitively to both our feelings that we're being called to maybe heal or release. That could be a block that is not allowing us to fully own and have and create what we want, right? Something that could be showing up or stopping us. And then at the same time, it's about belting it out to the world, right? Using your intuition, using your journaling, using your meditation practices to set your intentions and speak your desires and ask for what you want, right? Clarify what you want. It's so surprising to like how really scripting and writing in your journal daily, even if it's just kind of the same things as if it's in present time happening, is so powerful. It keeps your mind focused on what you're doing, what you're creating. And it also just, it creates it to a solid belief, right? That helps you actually take action and momentum. And it definitely will help you create. I notice when I'm in my morning routine really solid, the littlest things manifest so quickly, right? Down to the minute detail. And this is where it's important to even take that time as well to get clear on what we want and then ask for it and then expand that vision if you can, so that you're not unconsciously limiting yourselves. Hey, Michelle, definitely resonates. Marisa, awesome. So this is an important time to really be clear with yourself, and use your intention speaking, take advantage of that full moon energy, right? That's happening on Monday, I believe, depending on where you're at in the world, could be slightly different, around the 6th of September. So the next week we're going to look at is the week of September the 12th. I guess we'll just do the 12th through 18th. So let's see what we got here. I got the Starseed Oracle now deck. Did I catch it? And let's see. I love this. You guys have got some ideas coming in. Okay, so the first card for this week is saying forge, don't follow. Okay, and this is an important message for star seeds, light workers, those of us who feel called to make the world a better place, right? Want to see the change, right? We had to be the change to create the change. First and foremost, it always starts with us, which is why really all of my programs, whatever they are, is cultivating and finding that alignment with ourselves, right? Working on that alignment first, creating that inspiration, and then taking action, whether you're creating in your life or business. And this is really important message specifically around being a leader, right? Allowing yourself to be different. And I feel like it goes hand in hand with that perfectionism card, which as a sidebar to that perfectionism paralysis that can happen. is the fear of people's judgment, right? Fear of people's judgment, fear of coming out of the closet. What will people say? What will people think? That kind of thing can stop us. And or where when we're trying to figure out our niche, right? Because I feel like when I'm reading for a group, there could be variables of how it's interpreted, but it's about letting your authentic self shine, letting your woo be part of it if that's part of it that you've been hiding. Let yourself be authentically expressed. And sometimes what happens is when we're trying to get our work out in the world, is we start searching for how to do it right, right? And before you know it, sometimes we're trying to push ourselves and we're circle into a square peg about somebody else's system or exact A through Z of what I should be doing. And we start to lose kind of our voice and magic within it. I know this happens a lot for light workers and star seeds. Especially I think because not every marketing or structured A through Z is going to work for everyone. We're all unique, right? So I feel like there's just a level of both visibility, allowing yourself to shine, be true to you, be different. The reason why you're going to be attracting those you're here to share with, right, is because of your uniqueness, because of your personality, because of your life experience, because of how you deliver the information that you are going to say differently than another teacher who might have a similar topic, right? So does this make sense? And that's really important. I think it's kind of a wound too of not feeling understood or misunderstood or sometimes that happens. And so you might be being called to stretch your comfort zone in how you're authentically being expressed in your world. And even if it's not with a business yet per se, which I feel like a lot of you are being called to your purpose work more and more, right? Even if it's not birthed yet, there is a lesson of like, because the rest of it says, pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. So in some ways, it's kind of like blaze your own trail because we're all here, but we all have a unique way to bring our gifts to the world, right? Which is really powerful. And that's actually when you start attracting the people you're here to serve. That's when the abundance follows. That's when the impact happens. That's when the joy comes, right? Oof, we did this message. Wow, just to me, awesome, Sophia and Mercy. I love that you are guys having the courage to get out there and do it because it does take. It's not for the faint of heart, right? It's not for the faint of heart. And so I just commend all of you guys that are, forging this path for yourself. But remember to stay true to you. And while there's a lot of trainings and things to learn, it is a steep learning curve to market yourself online and to talk about what you offer and to put it together in a way that the people that you're here to serve can see that the value you're giving. Absolutely, there's a learning curve and there's some structure to that to a degree. And it can easily, we don't want to lose ourselves in it, which can happen, I did that too, right? Trying to figure it out. And so just being you is actually the most important thing you can do. And then those other things hone in as you practice and sharing the world to see what results come back if it's landing for people, right? The 7-star sisters, birthing creations. I don't read them ahead of time, right? So I love this. The tapestry of life expression. So we're on to something. I am droppy today. Sorry, you guys. Yeah, I mean, this is what we just talked about, right? It's you are being guided. Your inspiration is correct. It's a validation if you're curious, right? If you're like, maybe I just need a sign. This is your sign, right? Like these ideas are inspired. You're being called and you're surrounded by all this beautiful spiritual support. You're not alone in it, right? And in being in communities like this one or other ones that you feel called to surround yourself in the spiritual, other people who are like-minded on your path is really important because not everybody's gonna get it, right? Not everybody's gonna get it in your circle, in your family, perhaps, right? Or friends. Or maybe like in my family, there was nobody was really an entrepreneur. So, there wasn't a lot for guidance there, right? So, and also they didn't have the same belief system around spirituality, right? As I do, right? So it's just different. I remember soul plan, fated versus destiny. So a few messages here are important. This is about you being authentically shining your light, right? This is about you birthing and trusting the information that you're getting and knowing you're guided and supported and that, you know what? This isn't your first rodeo. You planned this. You signed up for this because you have everything you need within you. I know that can be annoying sometimes, right? When you're banging your head against the wall trying to figure it out. Because it's like, we have this information and we chose it based on our soul experience previous to this lifetime. But then we get dropped on earth with a little bit of amnesia, which can be difficult to like, what's this handbook of being human, right? not as easy as we recall. So we mock up these huge things. We have all these intentions in spiritual form. We decide to incarnate and we get here like, whoa, this is harder than I thought, right? Or I've forgotten, or I don't know how now, right? But you do. You absolutely do. And so part of this is, and the fated versus destiny is really important too, because just because you're tapping into the awareness that you have a soul purpose and a soul plan, it doesn't guarantee it. Absolutely doesn't guarantee it, right? Because we have free will of choice. It means it's absolutely possible and available to you. And you have to keep saying yes to it through your choice and your action, right? Because we can have all these spiritual gifts and ideas and even know how we're here to serve. Like I would see myself speaking on stages, writing books. Yeah, I was terrified of public speaking, right? But I still saw that, and that potential is there for me. Now I'm not fully to the vision that I've seen, but I'm on my way, right? It's been a process, and it's one step at a time is what it is. But again, if I didn't ever get over my public speaking fear and decide to feel the fear and be perfectly imperfect and make terrible videos to begin with and just fumble through technology and all that, like I wouldn't be here impacting the people that I am, right? And so it's a choice, right? We have the soul plan, we have the information, we have the inspiration. You are on track. If you're listening to this, your idea is valid. This is your soul talking to your spiritual guides, right? And it's up to us if we want to say yes to those opportunities, right? Which means that we have to continually address our fears within us and not allow them to stop us. And this is where the inner shadow work on a consistent basis is so important, and really part of your spiritual journey. Part of your spiritually driven, purpose-driven business is always going to be an aspect of personal growth for you. I think that's true for everyone, but in our line of sensitives, working with sensitives, it's as extra important because we're working with a lot of times sensitive people. And if what we say and what we do is not the same, they're going to feel that disconnect, right? You need to walk our talk and lead by example, which puts me back to that first card for that week. Be the leader you wish you had, right? And that means that we have to start with our own energy work. We have to start with our own healing ourself and walk our talk, right? And then at the same time, but we're not alone, right? We tap into that knowing, and you got to cultivate that intuition, trusting enough to take action. Because it is our choice. It's just because it's in the stars or in our astrology or in our human design or in our knowing doesn't mean it's going to happen if we don't consciously co-create that, right? Which is a daily choice. Does that make sense? Love that. My ideas are valid, absolutely. And being human can be very complicated. Hello from Scotland. Okay, so let's look. I'm feeling the starseed deck today. So I'm going to go on to the next week, which is the week of the 19th through 25th. And this week, depending on where you are in the world, it's on the 20th is the full moon, or in the Pacific time zone, I believe. I'm feeling the starseed deck today. Again, I have other decks out, but we're going to start here, see where we go. So we do have that full moon on the 20th, right, which is a Monday. So it's going to be about releasing. So one thing to just say about the general sense of this month is I'm not an astrologer, but I definitely kind of tune in and follow it, and you know what I mean, keep a pulse on it, because it's going to help me work with the energy versus push against the energy, right? And then numerology is in there. There's all kinds of schools of thought, right? But from what I've gathered on a numerological level, 5, I think, is what this month is, right? So it could be karmic patterns and lessons and things that are things that are coming up that are aligned are going to perhaps show up, right? And so they want to take this as information, as an opportunity to notice, okay, I've asked for this thing, this is where I'm going, and these are the patterns that are arising. So that we want to welcome that, right? It may not always be fun, might be difficult, will stretch your comfort zone most likely from time to time. But if you can lean back and not resist what is and just kind of be present with what's happening and see it as like, oh, thank you for showing me that, because now I can go deeper in healing that. And now I'm one step closer to removing whatever's in the way from me actually having what I'm asking for and who I'm called to become in order to serve, if that is your case, right? If you feel like you're here to be in service to the world. So this week, on the week of the 19th to 25th, trust the timing. So first of all, it says trust the timing, trust the way you came in on time. So trust the timing of things. So divine timing is important. And it also says time is not running out. So this is an interesting factor, right? Because we just got the card of fated to destiny. So there is an action, an aspect that we must take action. we must be a part of that creative experience. And then this card is also saying, trust the timing. Maybe we're trying to push or force something before it's ready, or force something to be done or happen or manifest in a certain way. And that's not actually the way it needs to unfold, right? So part of it is like this fine line of like holding that vision, staying connected to your intuition, taking those daily steps, and kind of releasing the timeline a little bit, right? And being present. Because if we're present, we're going to line up with the synchronicity of life. Things are going to unfold for us, but it might happen and unfold in a slightly different way than we expect. And so if we resist the fact that we don't have something, or we're judging or punishing ourselves that we think we should be further, or that it needs to happen by a certain time, like with clenched fist, like I need this to happen, that's a very constricted energy. And so there is a level of trusting and surrendering that time to a degree as well. Does that make sense? So sometimes you got to feel into that feminine and masculine flow within each person of is it time to lean back into that pause, rest, intuition, creative realigning with myself time, or is it time to now move into that masculine and take action? And now do I pause? So it's a daily dance that we learn to hone in through time and practice, really, right? And awareness. But our energy and our power is in the present moment. And so sometimes when we get anxious about something or the time or this or that or pressure, or trying to force it in our energies in the future or in the past, it's dissipating our power, right? So being present with what's the next right action I can take today in order to align with that higher path or purpose or that outcome, right? That's a good way to approach it. Earth pulsing, Mother Earth, slow down time and nature. So this is that week, the third week, right? So really paying attention about grounding, connecting in nature, calling your energy into the present moment, because both of these cards are kind of speaking to anxious into the future, wanting it now, trying to make something happen by a certain point. It's like that's that call to lean into the feminine energy of relax, retreat, reset, nurture ourselves, ground, work with the energy. What's powerful about nature, many things, of course, but is that it naturally sinks you into the present moment again, right? When our mind is in the future worrying about something, we're not present. When we're in the past regretting or judging or playing, we're in the past. Nature, when we can just be present with the sounds and the beauty and just even our feet on the ground, we start to slow down and find that presence within ourselves. Our body and nature are always present in this moment. And that is really, I feel like, the call to pay attention to if it starts spinning, right? And with that full moon energy, it might show some of these patterns that are being called to release, but that's the first step of the creation process. We got to create the space. And I love how this is actually folding into this September workshop theme that I have this month around consciously creating and being that conscious creator, right? Because we go through those steps. We have to clear the space and be present in order to begin to have the time and energy and know-how and space to create what we're asking for a lot of times. The next one, surrender. See, I don't ever read these till the next one, but this one says surrender to the sweetness. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, and make love to life. I love that. Right? I don't know if I showed you the earth pulsing. Okay, so surrender, right? So this is definitely a call to action to be aware that the full moon energy will likely be making things to your awareness, right? It might be bubbling up, quote unquote, blocks or problems or karmic, just who knows, right? It might be blowing some things up this month. I've kind of overlined different people you hear talking about the astrology and the numerology. You know, things might kind of come hit the fan, you know, even though Mercury doesn't go retrograde, because Mercury does go retrograde in September, I believe around the 27th, the shadow periods before that. And there's, I think, 5 or 6 other planets retrograde most of the month. So I think the new number 5 is a time of change. Big change, times are changing, big things are rumbling, transformation. So it's going to likely happen that things are going to show up in patterns and in our life and in communications, and that even in our awareness of maybe what we thought we wanted isn't actually what we want anymore. We have to give ourselves permission to allow our goals and our business to change, right? As we grow and evolve, our desires, goals, and our businesses also will shift and change, right? So there is a level of just, I want to say, re-surrendering and reconnecting to that and really get to that space of just being enjoying the moment. Nature's beautiful to get in that space of just enjoying the beauty, enjoying the nature sounds, enjoying the smell of a flower, bringing yourself back to that. And what can you do to bring more joy into your life or into your business? I think that that's going to be an important question to do, because it might be otherwise a battle of the mindset, or resisting or finding clashing resistance to maybe patterns and blocks that could be showing up for you this month. When really, if we just now we know this ahead of time, right, we can go, oh, okay, this is what's happening. I'm just going to lean into this and say, thank you. This is a tough lesson, but okay, I'll thank you. I'm now aware even more of what this is within me that actually wasn't aligned for my next step, my next big vision. And this is actually what I needed to be aware of. Because now, if you're becoming aware of it, then you're in your point of power, because then you can take personal responsibility for those things that are coming up and shift them, right? But if we're not aware of them, we haven't. So congratulate yourself if things are coming up to the surface, because now it means you're willing to actually see it. Now we just need to be willing to deal with it, right? Does that make sense? So it's kind of a journey. Oh, here you are. Hi, Joanna. You can always come back to the replay too. Okay, so let me back to Gabriel. So we're Gabriel and Starseeds. I'm going to say there's a lot of messengers. There's a lot of people in here with a purpose. A lot of people here feeling called to share gifts in some way. But of course, interpret it for how it works for you, because this always can apply to our life. I think it's so closely tied in for the spiritual entrepreneur, or the purpose-driven light star worker, starseed, light worker, whatever you want to call it. So many ways to call it. Okay. So last week, we're looking at the 26th through the end of the month, September. Allow yourself to receive. So again, I think this is where it's going to be important that if you take the time to balance and give yourself and nurture yourself into that feminine energy by taking time for self-care and for rest. That previous week, there was a big call to action for that. So notice if you end up in a mind spin, right? Notice that monkey mind, quiet it down. Really take your power back, really, to being in the present moment, so that you can realign, shift, deal with what's happening in the body, or in your mind, clear up whatever's happening, and nurture yourself so that you actually turn on your receptivity and your magnetism towards what you want, right? You'll start to attract the people, places, and opportunities that are there for you in order to create what it is you're asking for, right? Or to align with your highest path, right? So allow yourself to receive. Open your arms and welcome the blessings and answered prayers that God is sending you. So this is about really just opening to receive. So it could be too sometimes that when we do get tunnel vision focused and too much into our masculine energy, we definitely need both. But when we get out of balance, sometimes we're pushing away or missing opportunities. They're trying to give us like our signs or clients or information that we need, that we're asking for, or support, but we have to allow it in. And so it feels like that third week definitely to make, like, mark on your calendar now, so you don't forget self-care time, nurture time, that kind of a thing, so that you're in this receptivity mode to be able to receive the answers to what you're asking, the opportunities, the people, the intuitive idea, whatever it is that you're pulling forward that you need to know next. Now, daily practice comes up. And so this is where the more, two things come up. When I read daily practice, I read intuitively a lot too, right? So in daily practice, I'm saying this is where the whole month has kind of been clear too. The very first week, ask what you want. Pay attention to your morning routine. Meditation and journaling is a powerful way. Even if it's 5 or 10 minutes is better than no minutes, but it feels like it's going to yield a long way if you just create the quote unquote devotion or discipline. I can't remember who I heard this, but they switched the word discipline to devotion, because to the things that fuel you and help you live and create the life that you want. And sometimes that does take practice, right? It does take a commitment that we may not always feel like doing, but we know serves us, right? In that way, we're committing to ourselves. And so morning routine just feels like it's going to be really important and powerful. Gratitude lists in the evenings can be powerful. Anything to kind of redirect and keep anchoring in and really consciously create. And again, those of you with the workshop that I'm offering this month, the flash sale begins the first Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but it's available at any time this month as well. Is around conscious creation. Actually, there's a lot of light language transmissions to align your body, mind, and soul, and there's journaling in there. So that could be something that you could use if you feel called to it. Now, the second practice the second meaning of this card says, the more you practice your new skill, the more comfortable and confident you become, which kind of ties me back to that first card Gabriel was bringing forward, which was around perfectionism, paralysis, right? and being authentically you. That was coming through the Star Seed cards, right? Allowing yourself to be shine and be seen, and allow yourself to be authentically expressed, and to give yourself that permission to make a mistake. If I didn't give myself permission to make a mistake in my business, I would not be here. Of course, we want to strive to do better. I always try to strive to do better, but we're human and we have to learn, and we're forging a new path, which is another card, forge a new path. That means we're constantly stepping into the unknown, and we have to be willing to done is better than perfect sometimes. And then of course, evaluate how can this be better next time, and just trust the process and give yourself permission to flail as you figure it out a little bit, right? And you're going to call in the support that you need. Does that make sense? Because that's a big one that will stop people. That fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of success, having to be perfect. But underneath that, there is a fear. There's a stall tactic. Fear manifests in many ways. So what's deeply rooting that fear of that? And then the secondary thing would be if you're being called to different skill sets that you're learning. Like I know I just started a new level of Soul Success Unleashed program, and that'll light up a lot of things initially because it's a new skill set, right? And it takes practice, practice, practice makes perfect. Why I have 4 different practice sessions per week for people, because practice is important. So whatever skill you're practicing, maybe it's Reiki, maybe you're in my Soul Success Unleashed program. I see a lot of you, some of you. Maybe you're being called to write, but you've never written. Maybe you're being called to practice or take a course on that, right? Whatever it is, we have to start somewhere. And so it's about cultivating that practice, because that's where your confidence will come. That's where the competence comes, right? We don't just, our first thing of anything we do is not going to be our best, and that's okay. But if we don't allow ourselves permission to just do it and get better, then we're not going to build that confidence and we're not going to get better. Does that make sense? So let me know. So a new earth, it's happening. Keep holding the vision. So I love that. I felt that in my heart. Actually, almost kind of made me a little like that emotional feeling in that heart. You feel that connection with source really strong, and it's just that we're doing it. We're doing it. Keep showing up and doing it, and we are doing it. And just keep holding that vision, because sometimes when we're in the middle of birthing something new, it can feel very murky and overwhelming. And again, all of the things that are not aligned are going to pop up, and the invalidation or the ego's minds and fears are going to percolate. That's all part of you saying yes to you and your bigger vision. And as the more that you get equipped with taking the time, your morning routine practice can shift a lot. But also just learning tools to do the inner work, the more that you're going to clear that out, and the easier it is to navigate those times where we're being called into the unknown. That stretches our comfort zone, right? It's kind of a cycle, but you'll start to gain more and more tools and awareness, and you'll have less trigger points to hold you back. Sometimes that initial getting the momentum going, we hit the most energy, right? And so that's also where, being in supportive community is really a fast track, but also I would say almost essential, because the isolation factor is intense and real for people on their spiritual journey. But also once you step into your spiritual journey and forging a business, it's like a whole nother level, right? Just joining. Awesome, Phyllis. Well, we're just wrapping up. I have one more card, so you'll want to listen to the replay, because I know that we have a lot of good stuff in here. And I'd love to hear in the comments, what is your biggest takeaway? What are you taking away from this? What are you going to try, because the beautiful thing about listening to these, you're not going to remember everything I said, most likely. You could make notes, like I said, pay attention to week 3. Is your mind feeling crazy? Do the self-care. Sometimes we get these hellos that we can now, because we've heard it, we can actually be more empowered and not resist what's happening as much or judge ourselves for it, but it's important to, but we're laying the energy framework. So I'm always speaking higher self to higher self, and then human to human secondarily. And so now we've kind of set that energy container of that awareness to be more present for you. Yes, in the human awareness, but also it kind of lays the energy tracks for you. So you'll get the aha or the reminder, right? Even if you forgot what we talked about, right? But then you can also set yourself up for success by taking notes if something resonated. Yes, the isolation is a factor major. I know. And then this year, I think, just made it amplified, with everything with them, depending on where we are in the world, there's not the social factor that normally is on top of it. And then a lot of us are online with our businesses, so working from home. Oh, okay. So this just came up. It was kind of like the bottom of the deck that I felt like I knew I was going to want to share. It says Karmic Relationships, Onion Energy, Polarity, Soul Growth, and Conflict. So guys, welcome any conflict. Welcome the polarity. It's likely going to come. and is there to serve you. It's working for you, not against you, if you allow it. It's important for us to learn the lessons that are coming through because we want to end these karmic patterns at the root cause so that we don't keep repeating them. And so even if the behavior, maybe you have a conflict with someone, doesn't mean that we accept that behavior if it's toxic. And we got to take apart our self-responsibility and say, well, what's my part in this? Why am I allowing it? Why am I not having a boundary? Your biggest lesson might be to have a boundary of I deserve to be treated with more respect. Maybe it's about speaking your truth. Maybe it's about recognizing your part in a dynamic that you need to shift within yourself. Maybe you're being rigid or one-sided and you're being called to see something from a new perspective, right? So whatever it is, welcome it. It feels like it's likely going to come and that it's actually coming in your favor. It always is, really, because that's what needs to shift in order for you to have the alignment to what it is that you're wanting to, that your soul's calling you for, right? So that's really powerful. Beautiful. Well, I love it. I am going to let me know in the comments here. So isolation, good, good, good. So yeah, I think that's it. I guess just a reminder, everyone, for some of you guys are new, and even if you're not new, I like to just let people kind of educate, right? The first Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of each month, I tune into the collective energy of my community, of who I'm here to serve, and I come up with a workshop theme that's really reasonably priced that helps to work with the current energy that I see that could best support. And so for this, and it's on sale for well, it's $197 value, but the first 3 days of the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of each month, I do a flash sale for $37. So mark your calendars for check that if it's something of interest for you. And then the rest of the month, I still offer it for $57. Now the value is about $197 because you get a video training. You get, in this case, several activations. You get a workbook journal. So you get a little bundle on the topic. And then I do a live group Q&A. I will answer questions for sure, but it's a live group for a reading and clearing for the people that are going to ever buy that, right? That whether you're live or replay, I'm meeting and working the energy of the group on that topic. So it's a really powerful way to work energy in a really inexpensive way for me to give back and really help, cultivate people if they're not taking the larger program with me, or if you're new to me and you might want to get to know my style, or if that's just that topic perks your interest, right? So it's just a fun way to stay connected at a slightly deeper level than I can give support in my free group. That being said, and the topic for this month, if you guys jumped on a little late, is light language transmissions came through, because I feel a lot of integration happening. And you know what makes total sense now that we did this reading, because I had already created it, and then now I'm like, oh, all this karmic energy coming up, we need to integrate into our body and really clear the path. And so the topic for this month is light language transmissions, align activations to align your body, mind, and soul, and activate your conscious creator within. And so I'm also going to be sharing my 5 steps to conscious creation, and there'll be a journaling activities to guide you through those processes. And then then there's going to be some light language transmissions to actually help clear some of the energy and kind of work with that process to help you really step into your conscious creative power. So that is this month's topic. If it resonates, keep your eye out next Tuesday. If you're hearing this in real time, otherwise it will still just be 57, which is a great deal. Okay, so I think that's everything. What else? Oh, and I will see, I can't promise I'm going to do, keep your eyes out. Most oftentimes I do a new moon or a full moon circle in here, activation clearing. However, I can't always promise that it's going to be every time, and this falls on a family holiday. I'm not sure the plans exactly. I'm going to do my best. So keep your eyes peeled. You can click follow on my lives in here to be notified when I go Facebook Live, so that you can join in. So you'll be notified to know that I am going live for that. I'll probably give a little warning, but I'm just not entirely sure I can commit to that. But there's a good possibility I'm going to do my best on Monday to come in for some new moon activation. Okay. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Oh wait, I have one more thing actually. You guys still here? I don't know if you guys are still here. I keep saying one more thing. I forgot. Something popped in my mind today too. I did a free Energy of 2021 annual reading that's about an hour, where I did a month by month breakdown. And that's totally free. And if you want that, just put annual in the comments and I will give that to you. And if you're interested in the workshop, that is $37 next week, or $57 if it's outside of the next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You can put workshop, and then I'll tag you guys with that too. That'll help you guys. But the energy of 2021 is really powerful. And I go back to it. The first, if you want to skip the first half, you can, but you can also listen to it, because again, it gives you this overview of train track. And I did it last December. I created it, And then I've gone back for myself. I'm like, wow, this aligns perfectly. And so again, we get that heads up warning about how we can best work with the energies, right? And the possible pitfalls. And so it's kind of funny when I created it so long ago, I come back and of course, I'm always like, yeah, that's happening. Or, oh, that's interesting that my topic I picked up was actually something I said a year ago, right? That's working out. So if you want that, it's totally free. It's pretty, I think it was pretty powerful. And so you can put annual for that free energy of 2021 reading. You can put workshop and we'll come back and try to tag you. No, I'm not going to promise. Keep your eyes posted. There's gets thousands of comments sometimes. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week is the flash sale, and it will be available the whole month. And I'm going to do my best to have my team and I really pay attention in here to help remind you of that if you type workshop. Okay, perfect. Okay, everyone. I think that's it now for sure. Have a good rest of your day. I look forward to talking with you again soon. Bye.